Flaying is a method of torture or execution in which the skin of a person is removed, typically while they are still alive. It was most commonly used in Africa and Asia in ancient and medieval times, but instances of it have been found in many parts of the world. The process is similar regardless of the location. The victim is typically bound and stretched out, with their hands above their head and feet together. The torture usually begins by peeling the skin off the face using a small knife, and then continues to remove the skin in a single piece down the body. This process is slow and extremely painful, and most victims die before the torture reaches their waist. In some cases, the victim may be left in the sun or boiled in hot water to soften the skin before it is removed. Flaying was a common method of punishment and torture used in various cultures. It was often used in ritual sacrifices, as well as on criminals, enemy soldiers, deposed rulers, and even accused witches. In some cases, such as in ancient Aztec culture, the victim was already dead when their skin was removed. Other cultures, like the Assyrians, would flay their enemies alive and then display their intact skin by nailing it to a wall. In medieval Europe, flaying was typically done by cutting off pieces of flesh rather than removing the entire skin. It was not a widely used method of torture in Europe, but it was occasionally employed as a means of extracting information. For example, some of the Babington conspirators, who were involved in a plot to assassinate Queen Elizabeth I of England in order to free Mary, Queen of Scots, from captivity in 1586, were flayed to reveal information about the plot. In China, flaying was sometimes limited to removing flesh from the face rather than the entire body. However, in 1396, the first emperor of the Ming dynasty, Hongwu, ordered the flaying of 5,000 women. He also flayed many servants and enemies during his reign. Flaying has not been a common practice in the United States, but there have been some instances of it occurring in the country's history. One well-known example is the case of Nat Turner, a slave who led a rebellion in 1831. After being hanged, Turner's skin was removed. Flayed skin was often put to various uses after it was removed. In ancient times, it might have been used to cover vases or urns, similar to traditional leather. In the medieval period, there are some instances of flayed skin being used to make covers for books. The use of skin as an offering or decorative element was often part of the ritualistic nature of flaying. However, the Assyrians would display the flayed skin of their enemies as trophies, hanging them on their walls as reminders of their victories in battle. Several rulers have used flayed skin as a means of delivering a message. For example, King Edward had 3 monks who had robbed the treasury of Westminster Abbey flayed and then displayed their skins on the doors of the abbey as a warning to other thieves. King Philip IV of France went further, not only flaying but also castrating and beheading purveyors of extramarital affairs to the throne and displaying their bodies on the gallows as a warning to others. Cambyses II had a corrupt judge flayed in Persia. According to Herodotus' histories, Sisamnes was a judge in the Persian Empire during the reign of Cambyses II, who was corrupt and accepted a bribe to influence a verdict. When Cambyses learned of this, he had Sisamnes arrested and sentenced to be flayed alive. The skin of Sisamnes was then cut into leather strips, which Cambyses had Otanes, the son of Sisamnes, sit on as a reminder of the consequences of corrupt judges and the importance of judicial integrity. Otanes was appointed as Sisamnes' judicial successor after his execution. Flaying has also been used as a method of torture by serial killers and murderers. Ed Gein, for example, was known to use flaying as a way to torture his victims. He claimed to be fascinated by the horrors of Nazi death camps. Other murderers who have used flaying as a method of torture include Vlad the Impaler, Joseph Mengele, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Delphine Lalaurie. If flaying was used as a means of torture to extract information, it was possible for the victim to survive if they received proper medical care and if their wounds were not too severe. However, if they waited too long to reveal important information and had lost too much skin, the body might have already gone into shock or hypothermia, reducing the chances of survival due to the lack of modern medical treatment and the harsh conditions of captivity. If flaying was used as a method of torture with the goal of removing the entire skin in a single piece, it was rare for the victim to survive the entire process. The body would go into shock long before the skin was completely removed. We should be glad that in the modern age, flaying is illegal worldwide and is considered a violation of human rights and a war crime. Please like and subscribe for more history-related videos.